Over a month ago, I released a video on my impressions of EA-sponsored pre-alpha footage of Skate. It ended up getting lots of views, and while pretty much everyone in the comments agreed with my concerns, others disagreed with my takes. A few people asked if I was in the closed playtest, and I said no. But the truth is, I did actually sign up, but I never took part in it. Due to an NDA, I wasn't allowed to even tell you if I was playing the game, even though I wasn't. Now that the NDA has officially lifted, I'm able to show you the early access build before it releases to the public on September 16, 2025. Mind you, I did also say that I would try the early access build when it was released, so here we are. I wanted to put my rip chips and San Van Bucks where my mouth is, and see if my mind has changed on the game now that I physically played it. My name is OneHip, and thanks for clicking on this video. For this impressions video, I played the PC version. And just another reminder, these are only first impressions, so I may not cover everything that the game has to offer at the time of recording. And also, I'm not sponsored by EA, and I can give you my true feelings about the game, with a mix of challenges and free skating that I did during my time with it. Anyway, here are my actual hands-on impressions of Skate in early access so far. Let's go! One of the things I noted in my previous video was that the gameplay looked solid, and I can confirm that this is indeed the case. New tricks like bone dollies are here, and a cool addition is held flip tricks, where you can land multiple of one trick, like say a quintuple kickflip. You do this by simply holding the flip trick down. Grabs, grinds, manuals, and pretty much everything else from the previous Skate games return here. However, things like dark slides are not here at this time, but apparently will be in a future update. I found pumping vert ramps to be a bit tough, but I will put that down to a skill issue. Stunting is also expanded upon from Skate 3, and as of now, the iconic Hall of Meat is not available. This is explained by the game telling you during the first stunting challenge that there is a protective force field called Impervatech, which prevents you from being injured after bailing. I hope they do bring in Hall of Meat, but it might be too gnarly for the young ones that EA are clearly aiming for, not older fogies like myself. There is also a trick list called Skatepedia, which you can go back to so you can figure out how to do certain tricks, which always helps. You can tweak some gameplay settings to suit your style, but I found performing tricks with the default settings to be really fluid, and gameplay is certainly the greatest strength that this game has. The city of San Vansterdam is made up of 4 neighbourhoods, including the starting one called Hedgemont, Gullcrest Village, Market Mile, and Brickswitch. You unlock the other neighbourhoods challenges after gaining reputation in a previous one, but you can still access them anytime just to free skate, which I appreciate. The city itself is okay overall, and there are several spots to be found. Also, I was in a closed early access server, so there were very few other skaters online. It kind of felt like an offline mode in parts, but unfortunately this game will always be online, which sucks. If the servers go down, then you have to play in another San Van or even Port Carverton in earlier games. Not that this is a bad thing at all. There are also fast travel points you can unlock to instantly go to other parts of the city. These are in the form of bus stops. In terms of visuals, the characters look a bit cartoony, which is a stark contrast to the more realistic style that was advertised when the first trailer dropped for the game a few years ago. It's also a bit jarring considering San Vansterdam itself looks like a realistic city, filled with commercial districts, oceanside areas, and industrial spots. This style is clearly designed to appeal to a younger audience who play stuff like Fortnite, and this creative design was possibly made so the visuals are more suitable for mobile phones as well. But it's just a guess. There are NPCs that you can skate into, but unlike other games, they don't seem to yell out or confront you when you do this. I'm sure San Van will feel more alive once more people play the game, but right now it is quite empty and devoid of any feeling. There is skating in the game, but there's no feeling of skate culture. You load up the game for the first time and answer a question about your interest in skateboard culture. Obviously, I've done retrospectives on the other skate games, and I've played hundreds of hours in total across the series. So of course, I went with not interested at all. Just kidding. It also asks if you've played Skate 3 before and what controls you'd like. You watch a montage video with clips from the old games as well as behind the scenes footage, and you meet your AI assistant V, who you're going to hear chime in a lot, whether you like it or not. Thankfully, you can turn them off if it gets too much for you. Honestly, some of her dialogue sounds like something a relative or family friend would say after watching the movie Lords of Dogtown. It's very cringe.
Let's shut it down, score some rip chips, and maybe grab some new gear.
Some of the other side characters who give you missions sound cringe as well, and it's certainly dialogue that a suit over at EA would have come up with, not an actual skater.
You're on fire. Just hope you didn't spark up that dumpster. No one likes a dumpster fire.
You create your avatar, and I made myself an older bugger, like I actually am in real life, and do a tutorial on the basics on a nearby island, including learning new mechanics to the series, such as climbing. After the initial tutorials, you're shipped to San Vansterdam, your new playground. You're given a RIP card, which is your profile card, and more advanced tutorials begin. You earn RIP chips, which is the free in-game currency when you do challenges, and you can also buy the premium currency called San Van Bucks to use in the in-game store called Extrovert. I don't really care for opening loot boxes, and yes, that is what I'm calling them. But I opened up some anyway, as I racked up a bunch of RIP chips from doing some challenges. It was mostly generic stuff like grip tape, shirts, board stickers and the like, but the branded stuff has to be bought with San Van Bucks. There are also founder packs that you can buy, but there's no way I'm doing this. The challenges, which include Own the Spot, sessions and line challenges, are okay, but they become a bit repetitive. There are also city and crew challenges, which are limited time events. You increase your reputation with every successful challenge, and you can either complete all tasks required or only the ones you like. And naturally, I couldn't just level up like a regular game. I was sent to the store to do this, which I could conveniently fast travel to with the touch of a button. I spent much of my playthrough after the tutorials just finding spots and skating around. I didn't care to continue with challenges and grind for a colourful pair of socks. One of the main strengths of the series is just finding lines and spots and doing tricks, and if you go into Skate with this attitude, then you may have a good time. Adding to this, games like Skate could be better if there was an offline mode or even a proper story mode, rather than disconnected challenges. But maybe I'm just an older, out of touch dude. What would I know? The soundtrack is a mix of contemporary rock, electronica and hip-hop, with artists like Soccer Mummy, Poolside and Denzel Curry, among many others. An interesting feature is that you can walk up to something like a loudspeaker and you can grab the music that's playing out of it, and it'll play right away. You can also make a personalised playlist from songs that are in preset playlists, which is okay for those that like this kind of modern music. The sound of grinding, rolling a board and landing sound pretty good too. So after a few hours with Skate, these are my final thoughts. The gameplay is solid. That part was never really in doubt. Pulling off a long combo, trying out the new tricks, and cruising through San Vansterdam feels right when it all clicks. This game can deliver those classic Skate moments we've all missed when it wants to. But everything around that core still feels a bit off. The city looks good, but feels empty. The characters sound like they were written by someone who watched a Skate documentary once and took notes, and the always online stuff is an absolute buzzkill. And the grind for loot boxes, crates, is just not it. It's clear that EA's aiming this game at a younger audience, and honestly that's fine. But I miss when Skate had a little more edge, a little more attitude, and felt like it was made for skaters, rather than just users. That said, I didn't come away from this hating it. I didn't throw my controller across the room or uninstall the game after 20 minutes. I actually had a bit of fun just skating around and finding my own lines, and I think that's where this game still has potential. I will go back to it, and maybe even stream it on Twitch as well. If you go in expecting the old magic to be fully intact, you might be disappointed. But if you just want to mess around and feel some of that flow again and eventually skate around with your friends, there is something here. Do I think it's still soulless? Not quite. But it's not skating with a full heart just yet either. Thanks so much for watching. What are your impressions of Skate so far if you are playing it? Let me know in the comments. I'll leave an end card with my previous Skate video, as well as a playlist of all of my Skate retrospectives, even Skate It on the Wii. My name is OneHip, and you have a good one. Bye!